remembering revolutionary Vườn Mận base. The authorities of the ex-Plum Garden, there is a special task force that keeps the village, linking to locals that are not afraid of hardships to achieve a glorious six-day victory. In the Vườn Mận is the revolutionary base of the command of the 1968 Mountain Spring General Offensive and Uprising in Cần Thơ. Vườn Mận base is located in the Ag Road in An Bình Commune, Cần Thơ Town, today Group 10, Bình Thường B area, Long Tường Ward, Bình Thủy District, Cần Thơ City. In the past, in this area, people planted many plum trees. In season, ripe fruits are red, sweet and fragrant for the whole garden. During the resistance war against the U.S. to save the country, when the Cad NT Special Task Force was established, the unit chose the Plum Garden of Mr. Lê Văn Tiểu to build trenches and pits as the base to hold on to activities in the enemy's heart. Therefore, the base is called Vườn Mận Base, also known as the Plum Garden Base because the base is surrounded by enemy force. The concave base of the Plum Orchard in the years of resistance is located next to the command of the enemy's tactical region 4, but the enemy did not dare to sweep because of the treacherous terrain supported by locals. From this concave base, our army fought many bold battles on the enemy's strongholds, contributing to the failure of the local war of the U.S. imperialism, creating a premise for victory for the historic Ho Chi Minh Command, liberating the South and reunifying the country.
I have heard a lot about the majestic battle of you and your contrast in this Vườn Mận base relic. For an insider, maybe you still have a lot of memories, right?
There are many memories of comradeship, life and death, and memories of the love of the army and people. The people here in general, Mrs. Tiểu in particular, also heroic Vietnamese mother Tạ Thị Phi, together with her relatives, protected the revolutionary forces in general and the Vietnamese communists in particular, so that the force could stand here and fight to complete the task. It is an unforgettable memory. To save members of the Special Task Force, she sacrificed. I was told that way. Actually, Comrade Dương Văn Diễn, the company commander, and some soldiers directly told me it will be better. But unfortunately, he is sick. According to the story, that day, the soldiers came here to take revolutionary action, and Mrs. Tiểu at that time prepared a meal for the soldiers. At about 4 or 5 p.m., the soldiers gathered around the meal tray, and Mrs. Tiểu came out to guard against the enemy. When she walked out, the soldier walked over, and she only had time to say, "Uncle Nam, enemy." The enemy opened fire. She was hit by a bullet and died. We are standing right in Mother Phi's house, which recreates the location of her home. This is also the heart of Vườn Mận concave base, surrounded by enemy posts. There were posts only about 7,800 meters apart, belonging to the enemy's stronghold area that we still held on to fight and hold this place for 6 days and nights, which is an attempt to complete the task.
In such a difficult and stressful situation, how do people supply food to the army?
At first, it was difficult. We had to go to the people to ask them to buy food. Then we came out in the evening to pick them up. In this place, our army had to save on its own. Each company had a nurse. Do you know what this is?
I think this is one of the bunkers.
This is the mouth of the command bunker and also for keeping its invalids. This is the command bunker located inside. On the edge of the village are Z-shaped fortifications with 2 entrances. The front entrance had 1 comrade and the back had another. The entrance in front of the cellar would see the enemy up close, and the back could see in the distance. So our enemy's vision is from far and near, helping us to be ready to fight. After the 1968 Mậu Thân General Offensive, our company was very difficult. with only locals and guerrilla militias remaining. But we had to hold on to fight and destroy the pioneers to support the political struggle movements nationwide. Therefore, there are many concave bases, not just one. Our forces stationed in this base have 45 comrades. The command board has Comrade Huỳnh, Deputy Chief of Staff, directly commanding here. 3 companies, including number 292, 293, and 28. 3 companies had 45 soldiers only, with equipment including AK, B-40 guns, and rudimentary weapons. There were only a few of our forces, while the enemy's forces had Company 407 and 5 security companies. The enemy's forces were very large, with modern guns, vehicles, and aircraft.
Thin forces and rudimentary weapons, so what motivated the soldiers to win the 6-day and night battle?
Our army was small but elite, righteous and voluntary. Cadres and soldiers were of one heart, lived and died together, believed in the leadership of the party and the victory of the revolution, bravely lived and fought here. Huế, Đà Nẵng, and the central region have the majestic Trường Sa mountain range. Ho Chi Minh City has Củ Chi tunnels, whereas Cần Thơ has no forests and mountains, no tunnels either, but has tunnels located in local people's heart. It was that tunnel that protected our troops to live and fight here until the completion of the task and until the day of liberation. I retired in 2007. In 2009, only a few of my soldiers, including Mr. Wang, Nhân, and a few other soldiers sat together to discuss how to keep the promise if someone unfortunately dies. The living must take care of offering incense to the person who has fallen. Every time we meet, we record personal information and photos. After nearly 9 years, 697 cases have been collected, from comrades to captains, cadres, and soldiers raised in the inner city as well as in the suburbs, gathered to make a photo album of Cần Thơ Special Task Force. Last year, leaders of the city, districts, and the Department of Culture, Sports, and Tourism supported putting the list of 203 martyrs on display in the Gallery of Relics and will be completed when further direction is asked later. It is a process of preparation slowly, supplemented through each meeting. But until now, it has not been complete. Some comrades have sacrificed until now, and the remains have not been found.
It's not easy to depict a journey full of difficulties and great sacrifices, but extremely glorious and dazzling of Alcohol's Army, the heroic soldiers of the Vietnam People's Army. Memories of Wartime with stories of hunger, cold, disease, and having to fight in haste circumstances. However, for the soldiers of the Cad N THIu Special Task Force, the years of fighting with their comrades, with gratitude and desire to reunite their families and reunify the country, are the most beautiful memories. After retiring in 2009, Colonel Võ Tấn Dũng and many veterans established the Traditional Liaison Committee of the Cad N THIu Special Task Force. At that time, Colonel Võ Tấn Dũng held the position of deputy head. Since its establishment, the Traditional Liaison Committee has mobilized the construction of nearly 10 houses to give to comrades with difficulties in housing, organized many activities of gratitude, collected images and documents about the Cad N THIu Special Task Force in the past.
Through talking to you just now, I know that you love poetry very much. Today, can you share about this passion?
Starting from comradeship, along with the thought that poetry must serve life to build the socialist Vietnamese fatherland. To contribute to building an advanced culture, imbue with national identity to educate morality and traditions for young generation.
Để nhằm làm gì? Để giáo dục đạo đức, truyền thống lịch sử dễ dàng của dân tộc của mình.
Tại khu di tích căn cứ Vườn Mận đó chú, thì chú có những vần thơ.
Do you have any poems written about Vườn Mận base?
This is a poem about Vườn Mận, the old voice of the Arc Plum Garden. There is a special task force that keeps the village, clinging to locals and not afraid of hardships, to achieve a glorious six-day victory. I'm going to visit you, Mom. The afternoon rain suddenly fell, tears dropping. Together with me are other youth union members, lighting incense in remembrance of the mother who was far away. The old plum garden we passed through, the battle of the people's heart, not faded. The line of fire and the arch of youth. My heart is intact every flowering season.
Through the verses you just shared, I feel that you bring your memories and gratitude into the poems. Why is that?
Để tỏ lòng với bà hai.
In order to express gratitude not only to Mother Phi, but also to the people of this region. This Vườn Mận base has protected the armed forces in general and the special task force in particular very thoughtfully, written in my heart, from which is expressed in short verses.
Why didn't you choose another way but choose to compose poetry, and what fate brought you to poetry?
It comes from the fact that when we entered the battle, that is, in 1968, according to the call of the fatherland, a group of 11 of my friends volunteered to join Tây Đô Army to participate in the fierce war. Of course, there are still sacrifices, but I don't know who lives and who dies, so I took the names of 11 friends and recorded them in verses. Thanh, Bình, Tư Lắm, Dũng, Võ, Sơn, Bình, Tấy, Hoàng, Phong. The war was fierce, as Lâm Thao wrote. The arc is easy to go but difficult to return. Bullets inserted into warheads, bombs next to bomb craters. The war was fierce, but 11 of my friends still volunteered to fight.
How many poems have you written so far?
It's too many. I haven't counted how many poems I have written. But I remember the first one, remembering my teammates with 2 verses. Then remembering the 16 teammates also in 2 verses. Remembering the arc, then the Battle of Đông Hào, the Battle of Ông Cửu, and then the Battle of Vườn Mận.
Căn cứ Vườn Mận, bơm cày.
Vườn Mận base is now a spacious Vườn Mận base historical and cultural relic. Cad N THi's Special Task Force has completed their sacred historical mission. The glorious feats, great sacrifices, and contributions of the force and soldiers are always shining, still a dazzling golden page of history. Today's Vườn Mận based historical and cultural relic still reserves many vivid images of the 1968 spring general offensive and uprising in Cần Thơ, such as the photo of Cầu Nhiếm Junction, where many American planes bombed and killed more than 200 innocent people in 1968, forward surgical tunnel, working tunnel of the command of the 1968 spring general offensive and uprising campaign in Cần Thơ, etc.
Do you remember this photo?
This photo was taken on the day of the death of members of the Special Task Force. I was just a lucky subordinate soldier who was still alive, and now I commemorate the fallen soldiers by organizing a death anniversary every year. I hope that I would have good health to contribute to educating good traditions for future generations.
I have been able to participate in this death ceremony more than 5 times, but every time I feel very touched. Regardless of old age, the old soldiers still manage the distant roads to come here to light incense and commemorate their comrades who have sacrificed. Through this, I can also listen to them tell the stories and fierce battles in the past here. to help me understand and love my homeland more, and help me improve my work as a narrator at the Vườn Mận Cultural Historical Site.
For many years, every year on February 29th, especially in the years of February when there was no 29th, the 28th was chosen. The veterans of Cad N THIu Special Task Force, together with the local government and people, met together at Vườn Mận-based historical and cultural relic to light incense for the matters of the Cad N THIu Special Task Force and visit the base together.
The base area at that time was not like this, but it was on dense forest to carry out revolutionary activities. Coming here, I fondly remember my comrades who have sacrificed, remembering the families that have raised the sacrificial cadres. I am very sad and remembers that time. My friends and myself who were here on the very day fought and sacrificed very hard so that we can be independent today.
The concave Vườn Mận base is a point located in the act of Cad N THIu City, the fiercest battlefield in the southwestern region. This place is an elegant testament to the people's absolute faith in the revolution and the party. On November 15, 2004, the People's Committee and the City Council issued a decision to rank Vườn Mận base a city-level historical cultural relic. During the years of fierce war, alcohol soldiers always fought steadfastly and heroically, contributing to restoring independence and freedom for the country. Now that the war is receded, return in peace to the land of Tây Đô, today's young generation is always proud and grateful to the cadets and soldiers who have heroically sacrificed for the country's independence, always promoting the tradition of the revolution, love for the homeland and the country.
As far as I know, Mother that Thi's family has made great sacrifices, through which I feel the heroism of our nation. Although it is weak, it has fought very bravely. Today, when I hear historical witnesses tell stories and visit historical sites, I feel extremely grateful and touched by what the predecessor has built. As a child of Long Tuyền land, I feel very proud of historical site of revolutionary Vườn Mận base. This is a place to store important memories, a place to mark important battles of our army and people in the south, and prove the deep military and people's love for each other. As a young generation, in my opinion, we need to study hard and then have strong political courage and actively participate in local social political activities. In the end, we must always increase the merits and hard sacrifices of previous generation so that we can have a peaceful life like today.
The stories told by Colonel Võ Tấn Dũng have fueled the young generation with pride in the traditions of their homeland and country and reminded each of Vietnamese people to always remember, to have peace like today, our predecessors must sacrifice their life. It is a beautiful image of the continuation of historical traditions, of the forever burning fire of pride.